Before air conditioning became a part of everyday life, summer heat felt different. Windows stayed open, fans spun endlessly, and people got creative just to beat the sweltering days. Some of their tricks seem old-fashioned now, but they carried a kind of charm that we rarely see today. Today we're looking at 10 ways people stayed cool in the heat before air conditioning. 1. Sleeping on the porch. When bedrooms felt like ovens, families dragged their mattresses outside. Porches, screened-in decks, or even the front lawn became makeshift bedrooms on summer nights. The fresh air, cooler breeze, and sounds of crickets made it bearable. Sometimes whole families lined up under the stars, drifting to sleep together. It was uncomfortable, but it was also a memory many still hold dear. 2. Hand fans and church fans. Hand fans were simple but life-saving. Whether they were fancy folding fans or the cardboard church fans often handed out on Sunday mornings, they gave instant relief. People carried them everywhere, especially women sitting on hot porches in long dresses. Beyond cooling, they were also a bit of personal style, sometimes decorated with flowers, advertisements, or Bible verses. 3. Shade trees and porches. Long before central air, people built their homes with shade in mind. Big leafy trees were planted close to the house, blocking out the afternoon sun. Wide front porches gave families a place to sit and catch whatever breeze floated by. These shady spots became gathering places, where neighbors swapped stories and children played until dusk. 4th. Block ice and ice boxes. Before refrigerators, the Iceman delivered giant blocks of ice to neighborhoods. Families stored them in wooden ice boxes, which kept food cool and doubled as a way to beat the heat. Kids loved chipping off little pieces to suck on like candy. It was messy, it melted, and it had to be replaced often. But for many, it was the only real relief indoors. 5. Cold water wells and springs. Nothing beat dipping a tin cup into a cold well or mountain spring. The water came up icy cold, no matter how hot the day was. Farmers and workers in the fields often relied on these natural coolers to keep going. Even today, people who grew up with well water swear it tasted better than anything from a faucet. 6. Window shutters and thick curtains. Houses once fought heat not with machines, but with clever design. Heavy shutters, awnings, and thick curtains were drawn during the hottest parts of the day, keeping the sun out. Then at night, everything was opened up to let the cooler air flow through. It wasn't perfect, but it made homes far more livable in places where summers were brutal. 7. Cold baths and wash tubs. When the heat became unbearable, many turned to cold water. Families filled up metal wash tubs in the yard or simply took repeated cold baths during the day. Children treated it like playtime, splashing around while parents soaked their feet nearby. It wasn't glamorous, but it was cheap, easy, and one of the quickest ways to cool down. 8. Trips to the basements weren't just for storage. They were natural cool zones. Underground rooms stayed several degrees cooler than the rest of the house. Families often spent afternoons down there, playing cards, shelling peas, or just resting until the worst of the heat passed. It was a quiet retreat, and in many homes, the basement became the unofficial summer living room. 9. Watering down streets and yards. On sweltering days, people sprayed down sidewalks, streets, and even rooftops with water. The evaporation gave a brief but refreshing drop in temperature. Kids ran barefoot through puddles, while neighbors sat on stoops enjoying the cooler air. It was temporary, but it brought the whole neighborhood outside. 10. Trips to the lake or swimming hole. And of course, nothing beat a dip in the nearest body of water. Whether it was a farm pond, river, quarry, or the town swimming hole, people gathered to cool off together. Families picnicked by the water, kids splashed for hours, and it became a summer tradition that bonded communities. These spots weren't just for cooling down. They were the heart of summer fun. Before air conditioning, beating the heat took creativity, patience, and sometimes a little bit of sacrifice. But it also brought people together on porches, in basements, and at swimming holes. Looking back, those old methods remind us that summer wasn't just about staying cool, it was about making memories. Which of these cooling tricks do you remember? Or did your grandparents ever tell you stories about them? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we rewind the past together.